Music is the answer. Sweet music is the way. Gospel, jazz, R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R&B Bistro, where the music have its way.
Hello and welcome to the R&B Bistro, up close and personal. I'm your host, Venus, here to take you through this musical dance we call life. And to do that, you know I bring on prominent people in our community and beyond to help us make it through. Today's guest, I'm so excited to meet her and to introduce her to you. She is the CEO of NetStruc PR. She's a celebrity publicist with over 20 years of experience working in public and community relations, the public and community relations field. She's the founder of Ladies Third Thursday, a business networking group. We're going to get all into that. And the 2018 recipient of the Brooklyn Power Woman Award. Power Woman, you know we're glad to have her here. She's a speaker and an author, a wife, a mother, and more. I am so excited to welcome Sharon to the R&B Bistro, up close and personal. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. The commute was good?
Commute was good.
Now, you know we were supposed to meet like a couple of weeks ago.
I know.
You were supposed to be here with a group of other ladies.
I know.
But I want to tell you, I'm glad you're here with me by yourself.
I'm glad to.
Yes.
This is exciting.
Yes, we get to spend the whole time
Spill
together.
the tea.
Yes. So can we get up close and personal?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, I want to go back a little bit. Public relations, how come? How did that come to be?
Well, that fell in my lap, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I started out in the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office as a paralegal.
Really?
And I love what I do, and I was supposed to be a lawyer. Love to help people. And one of the deputy chiefs came to me and asked me if I was interested in joining his team. Didn't know what it was, but I said it sounded exciting. And at that point, I was kind of getting mixed feelings about going into law.
Right.
And so I said, sure, no problem. I'll try it out. I went through my training. And what it was really was just really getting out into the community and talking to the community about the different services and how we can help individuals from the office.
Nice.
Getting the word out there, talking with press, just doing everything in terms of just exposure for the office. And it was really on a positive level. It wasn't highlighting anything negative. It was highlighting the positive programs and the positive initiatives from the office. And I fell in love with it because at the end of the day, when I was able to help those families that their kids made the wrong choice and they were able to take advantage of the programs that that office was offering, it made me feel really good.
Right.
And, long story short, their 18 years ran the borough through that program, through that department, and administration's changed.
So do they call that PR though? And that's like
it's
PR
a mixture.
for the company?
It's community relations. It's community relations, and I dipped and dabbed in the public relations as well because when I went out into the community, I had to reach out to the media to let them know that the DA was coming to was coming out into the community. We're launching this new program. We're doing a partnership, a collaboration, and I had to let the media know. So it all intertwined.
So that's kind of like on-the-job training, right?
Absolutely.
So now what kind of formal training do you think people need? I mean, you were blessed and lucky.
Yes, I was. One thing is I love to talk. That's one thing. And
I wonder.
Another thing was that I had talking and listening is very important in this position. Another thing is that you had to network. I had to go out there and I had to learn who the key players were. I had to learn who were the media outlets that was interested in hearing about community engagement and hearing about the City of New York's program. So it's not really, and they do have programs for you to go and become into
like
communications.
Certificate programs or programs in college?
Yeah, in college as well. Yeah,
so there's a PR degree or it's wrapped up in communications?
Communications, right, exactly.
Okay.
Because it is more about relationships in PR.
Absolutely.
Public relations is all about relationships. So with my contacts, with my different media outlets, it's all about it's building relationships. And it still is something where you have to reach out to those that you don't know to create those relationships you can actually talk to them and let them know or give them the story of your client. It was kind of easy coming from the City of New York because it was elected officials position. Press loves elected officials because they always want to pull out those extras, which you're not really pulling out. So they always came out to
reach out to people before you need them to create that relationship.
Always reached out.
Yeah.
Always.
Don't call me when you need me. Talk to me before, right?
Exactly.
All right, so does every company or who needs a PR person?
You know, I tell my clients this because I deal with a lot of small business clients, and I tell them every business needs PR because there's one thing in terms of letting people know about your businesses or your services, and you do the one-off or whatever, but when you're out there telling your story, people see you as an expert. People see, they can hear your story, they can resonate.
Right.
It's not like how it was years ago where you start a business and you know, like, oh, I like that business, I'm just going to deal with it. No, people actually do their research now. They want to know who are, exactly. They want to know who are they working with, who are they investing with. And if they hear your story, they can resonate more better. And that's why I tell people, no matter what, get some PR, get some media exposure, show your expertise. Because people want to feel comfortable dealing with you.
Right, right. So, what's the difference, rather? And I probably asked you this, but I want it to be clear to them. And I think we have a wonderful picture of your logo. I hope they get that up there shortly. So, what's the difference in working with a PR for a company versus working with PR for an individual?
So PR for a company, one, they have much more money. That's one.
Yeah.
They have many, many more resources. Though that's two. Dealing with the individual publicist, you're getting more on a hands-on. I'm getting to know my client.
Right.
I'm getting to know in terms of why is it that you want to do this? Let me really get deep down inside and find out and get your story out there. So when I'm pitching from the heart, really.
Right, right.
I usually deal with clients that I see that actually has great services and actually can make a difference for themselves because honestly, that's what media is looking for.
Right.
They're looking for their listeners and how you can help their listeners.
Right.
So I have to get down and dirty. I have to find out, listen, give me everything. I need everything possible. In the larger companies, it's more in terms of, they do the same, but it's more in terms of a fast pace. And I like to get comfortable. I want my clients to feel comfortable, and I want them to understand why they are actually doing this. Because sometimes you just jump right into it, and it's like a factory. So they're just banging it out. Me, on the other hand, and other individual publicists, we have that personal touch.
Now you're doing both. You're doing the public relations for a company and the public relations for individual because you have your own company.
Yes.
And that company is
NetStruc PR.
NetStruc PR. We're going to
Yes.
come back to that. So it sounds like public relations and community relations, there's really a blurred line because they're really together. They really
Yes.
go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And that's important to understand that
It
they do
is
go hand in hand.
And why I say that's important is because it's not only just media. Public relations is not only just media.
Right.
It's community engagement. It's getting out there. It's speaking. It's going out to conferences, talking to individuals about. It's more exposure. It's more eyes on you and your business.
Right.
So yes, media gives you that bigger outlet on the eyes, but also when you're going into the community and you're talking to community board or precinct council or a civic association, those are your possible consumers.
Right.
So why not go and speak with them, come to their events and speak with them? So community engagement is very, very important. And I realized that coming from the DA's office, that this is something that was needed. And a lot of businesses feel that they didn't understand what community engagement was.
Right, right. All right, now this is something that has always kind of been confusing to me, and I'm sure it's confusing to my listeners because I try to pick out things that I know they want to know. People used to always come to me, how do you get in radio? Chow. And how do you do that? Okay, so we can do this show so we can tell you how to do all of that.
Absolutely.
So what's the difference between a PR rep, an agent, and a manager? And does one need all three, one or the other, what?
It depends on the industry. It really depends on the industry. So with a PR person, we deal strictly with media. We dip and dab in terms of with management. We dip and dab in terms of, as a rep, because I do that with some of my clients also. But it's a fine line because, for instance, I don't do entertainment PR because entertainment PR deals with you have to be inside that industry. So there are different type of publicists that have specifics. So with that, an entertainment publicist is dealing with the management. You have to deal with the manager because the manager is actually scheduling where the client is going.
Right.
The publicist is dealing with all the media. So when they schedule that appearance, now that media person has to come in and put it out there. Oh, so-and-so is going to be at this location. They're going to be at that location. So It can be, but it's a lot of work. So sometimes it's actually better to just have the separate things because it can really get overwhelming for one person because it's a lot.
And with you and your company, what's a typical day look like for you?
So typical
because you're working the regular job still, right?
Well, here's the ironic part. I work a regular job doing the same thing. So I do public relations for a hospital system.
Okay.
So my typical day for an actual client through NetStruc PR is I sit down. Well, first I always have a one-on-one with them weekly, just to go over exactly what we're looking to do for the next week or for the next month, because pitching takes time. So I actually have to lay out a plan in terms of, okay, where am I going to be pitching for them for, to get picked up for coverage? That's one. Two, I also have to search for them getting different speaking engagements, right? So that's another thing that what I do. And then I also work on just seeing exactly with their image and just working on their story and just really cultivating it based off of the media outlets that I am pitching to. So on an average weekly time, I pitch on a Monday. And I pitch about maybe to 5 or 6 outlets on a Monday. And throughout the week, I'm following up. I'm calling, I'm finding out if you got it. You know how the nature of the beast is. You got to call, follow up. They didn't get it. I got to send it again. So it's a constant back and forth. But my main thing is that I want to make sure that I'm constantly pitching my clients on a weekly basis. And it doesn't sometimes come out immediately. Because
sometimes it may come out later down the line.
And I explain to my clients, you got to be patient. You really have to be patient. It's not that we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs. And I tell them, it's maybe not the flavor of the moment for your story. But it's not going to be something where they're just throwing it by the wayside because you have a powerful story. You have a powerful business. And listeners are going to want to hear about it.
So can you tell us some of your clients, or is that confidential?
No, I can tell you some of my clients. Well, obviously, Vera Moore from Vera Moore Cosmetics is my client. I also do events. So one of my events, a yearly event that I do is Guyanese Girls Rock. And that's an organization that actually promotes women of Guyanese descent and all of the great things that what they do. They have a girls component that what they do a mentoring program with them. So I do. And
you do the third Thursday too, right? So tell us about that. I don't want to miss that.
Third Thursday is actually my baby. So when I was laid off in 2013, before that, we were doing women events. We were doing cultural events. One of them was women events. And I just found it so fascinating to just work with women, just women in business.
You're a rare bird.
I just found it so fascinating. And we used to do these events. And in March, I came up with the idea for us to honor a woman a day. And they ran with it.
A woman a day?
A woman a day in March.
So 30 and 31?
31 women.
Wow.
And when I decided to put Ladies of Third Thursday together, that was one of the things that I wanted it to be as one of my signature events. Ladies of Third Thursday came about because I went to so many networking events and I wanted to really pull different aspects of networking events to really, when you walk away, you got something out of it. And that's what I do. We provide resources, we provide panel discussions, we provide connections. So I pretty much know who's walking in the door before they even know it.
And where is this, in Brooklyn?
I hold it different places.
Oh, good, because I was going to say you need to come to Jersey.
I could come to Jersey.
And Venus can help you.
Absolutely.
We said that on air.
Yes. I'm looking forward to coming to Jersey. My goal with Ladies of Third Thursday is to host a Ladies of Third Thursday every Thursday at different locations.
I like it.
Simultaneously. I already had people that is interested in Philadelphia, in Atlanta, in Detroit, and I think it would just be so fascinating. All of us go on Facebook Live at one time, and we're in New York, we're in Philly, but the structure of it is really of bringing women together, empowering women, encouraging women for them to soar. That's what.
Now this is a pet peeve of mine. I like the events that people are doing, but they have events and there's always a charge, and I understand there needs to be a charge. But what about the person who needs to be there but can't afford to pay for that? Well, how do you help them?
Here's the thing. Ladies of Third Thursday, every third Thursday, it's a free event.
Okay.
So I don't charge for the free events.
Okay.
And I give quality events. So I have panel discussions. Like last month, we had it on Networking Effectively.
Okay.
This month, actually last week, we had a toy drive in a holiday mixer.
Right.
So we collected toys. We collected over 200 toys to give to a shelter in Brooklyn and also to a foster home in Long Island. So, it's all about looking to see what the services is that what they need and coming out. And I do a survey. So when they walk through that door, I ask them, what are you really looking for?
I like that.
And they let me know, networking, public relations, startups. So based off of those surveys, what they fill out, I then cultivate my workshops for Third Thursday. And that's how we get
Tell us about that award you got. And I think we got a slide of that award. So I want to see that there. Tell us about that.
So I was nominated for the 2018
there you go, yes.
Women in Power Award.
It looks like an Oscar or something.
It does. It is a fabulous,
Yes.
it was so exciting because it was just so many business women there of all calibers, so many levels, so many industries, and it was with Snaps Communications. It was with a newspaper.
Nice.
And, they reached out to me and they said, you were nominated for one of the honorees, and do you accept? It was Brooklyn, though.
Do
they
you
have
accept? No, don't give me an award. I don't want it.
And it really was based off of the amount of work that you do, community
Awesome.
engagement, how do you deal with businesses, and your passion. And like I said, it was just so many women there, CEOs of banks, hotels.
Nice.
And, when I just looked at it, I was like, wow, and I always say little old me because it is little old me. But I realized that the work that I give back to my clients and just give back through Ladies of Third Thursday.
Makes you worthy.
I said to myself, I was like, you know what, I'm going to pat myself on the back with this one.
Right. Yes. You have to, because sometimes you don't get encouragement. I'm sure you do, but sometimes you don't get encouragement from the very people that are closest to you that you need encouragement from.
Absolutely.
And so, as the gospel song says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, do you think that? No, let me rephrase that. How many clients should a PR person have? Do you think that 3 or 4 clients is too many because of the attention that you have to give to each? How many should you have?
It depends on the span of how much work you want to do for them. Because with PR, you can do a cookie cutter with them. Me, on a personal level, I can't do no more than 6.
Okay.
No more than 6 clients because of the amount of time that I put into it and the amount of work that I want to make sure that we try to get results on. And, I'll have clients that, we go and 1 month, nothing happens. But that next month, because I'm pitching for that 1 month, next month, we're busy and we're going back and forth.
Right.
And just to make sure that calendars don't overlap, I say on an average between 3 and 6 is a safe number.
Okay.
Doing events, because publicists do events also, doing events, that also is something where, including with your clients, you should have on an average maybe throughout the year, because events come up throughout the year, you should have at least maybe between 3 and 4.
And are the events with all the clients or individual events with individual clients?
Yes, sometimes it's individual. And also with my clients, I also have them do an event.
Okay.
Because
awesome.
that's another form of exposure.
Right.
So I work with them on doing that, and I also include them with Ladies of Third Thursday. So that's another platform
I like that,
I put that in with them.
So how does somebody become represented by you? Do you find them or do they find you?
It's both. It's both. I, again, the purpose of Ladies of Third Thursday was, one, to give back and to give them and give the business women an opportunity to get services that they normally can't get. And 2 is to find clients. Because, at the end of the day, people don't really know how to find a publicist. And if they do, they're going to the big firms where they're charging them tens and thousands of dollars a month. And, PR isn't cheap.
Right.
So I, get them through Ladies of Third Thursday. Sometimes I get them from social media, and I get a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
I get a lot of referrals.
Now, since you brought it up, I'm going to mention it. You can give me as much information as you want. What is a ballpark of what your charges would be?
So my ballpark ranges from $25,000 to $5,000. And
$2,500 to $5,000.
Right.
And
to
that's a month. That's a
month. And here's the range of it. My 5,000 one, I include a photographer and a videographer. So press once updated pictures. They want to see you in action. I can't keep giving you or sending press a headshot of the same thing. So if I have a client that's a speaker, I need fresh pictures of you speaking. I need fresh pictures of you getting an interview. I need them to see that you're just not a lame duck of a speaker, and I have this one picture. So with that, we get that on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. Plus, we're pitching on a constant basis.
Did you put a makeup artist in there? I ain't hear no makeup artist in there. Taking some pictures, need some makeup.
Someone said that. Someone did say that, and I do have makeup artists on, or that I can work with. It hasn't come to that point yet, and the only reason why I say that is because usually we're pre-prepping, and if they already are at an event,
they're already made up.
You're already made
They
up.
better be made up.
You better be made up. And if not, I do have somebody on speed dial.
Yeah. Okay.
But
good.
yeah, hair, makeup, you name it. I do have them in my circle, in my network that I can literally just call up and say, listen, I need your help. I got a client. They need X, Y, and Z.
Do you suggest an image or a look or anything for anything?
Sometimes I do. Absolutely. Your brand is you.
Yeah.
And if you can't come up, and I get from a lot of coaches that sometimes, you shouldn't be stuck with just figuring out what a color is or what a brand, what your specific logo color or anything to that extent. But you want to have consistency.
Okay.
And if they see you in a specific color, then they know that's your color. They know that's your brand.
Right.
Like with me, I have a couple of colors. I have red, black, silver, and...
I got a question on that. Red, black, silver, and like the shoes?
Like the shoes. Exactly. I fell in love with your shoes when I saw it.
I'm losing my shoes today.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But she's losing a bag, so it's okay. We're
It's
trading
okay. It's
off.
an even
But
trade.
we may have to, give you the bag. I mean, you give me the bag so I can wear the shoes. I give you the shoes so you can wear with the bag.
We can swap. That's
Yes.
okay. I love it.
All right, good.
That's what sisters do.
That's what sisters do.
Yes.
Yes. So let's have a little fun now, sister.
Okay.
I want to get a little more personal with you.
Okay.
And I usually say, let's do this really fast, but I see we have a little bit of time to go a little slower, but you may not need it. So this is called the Bistro Personality Mix.
Okay.
It started out where I was doing it with the gentlemen, and they were like messing up. I would say, answer this and don't think, and they'd be like, oh, long story. So we changed it. So here's your first question. When you want to relax, what music, because this show started about music, what music do you listen to?
Oh my goodness, Kirk Franklin.
Yeah, to
Gospel.
relax.
Oh my goodness.
Get
yes.
out.
Yes.
But some of his relaxing songs, you need to be moving.
Because it just brings me to a different place. And it used to be that I listen to slow jams and R&B. Kirk Franklin songs just puts me in such a trance. And I'm good.
I love the very last one you just did. I can't remember the name of it, but he introduced it on an award show. It was so cool. It's so cool. But I love him. I love his music too.
I love his music.
So, and the show started out about gospel, jazz, and R&B.
Right.
But it's evolved.
It's evolved.
But those are my favorite genres. What's on rotation in your car?
Oh, what's on rotation on my car? It is Kirk Franklin. You don't judge me. LL Cool J.
Yes. Okay. I like him. Oh my God.
And
love me some
and
LL Cool J.
Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, it circulates. It's crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy. But I like old school.
Me too.
I love old school. So yeah, I throw some LL Cool J in there. I'll throw in who else?
Listen, I like Missy Elliott.
Oh, I love Missy.
Let's move
Mary
on.
J. Blige.
Okay. Yes. It's gonna be
Mary.
fine.
Yes.
All right. If you were a color, and it's gonna be hard for you. If you were a color, what color would you be and why?
It would be red. Red is my favorite. Red from inception, from high school.
I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. Get out, really?
Yes.
As we wear red.
Absolutely.
All right. And what do you want people to remember most about you?
Then I'm a giver. I'm always giving.
I like that.
My husband tells me all the time. He was like, you know what? You would stop and give somebody your shirt. I have boys. And anytime I see a young man that reminds me of my son, I look at them, and if I see that they're in some type of trouble or something, I will go and talk to them.
Yeah, and you can't help but mother, right?
I can't help it.
I have that issue. I can't help but mother.
I can't help it. I was taking the train one day, and I saw a young boy, and he couldn't get across. He couldn't go through the turnstile, and he was just talking to people and asking people. And I was like, and I stopped, and I was like, what's wrong? And he was like, I just need 50 cents to just, go through the turnstile. And I was like, look. And I just swiped it, and he went through.
Nice.
I was like, are you going home? He was like, I just need to get home. And nobody wants to help me.
Wow.
It hurt my heart because I was like, that could have been my son.
It could have been.
And everybody, so I'm always giving.
This show makes me cry. People just tell me things, and I feel the welling up, and I'm like,
yeah.
Give me 3 tips that someone who's aspiring to be a PR person can go right out tomorrow because you told them to do this, this, and this. What would those three things be?
First of all, you have to be patient. You have to be patient. If you're not patient, then this job is not for you. You have to be a people's person. When I mean by people's person, you have to be you have to be in that position to engage and really listen and talk with them or give recommendations when you feel that it's the opportune time. And you have to network. If you don't network, you're not going to meet media outlets. You're not going to meet that journalist who's at that networking event looking for a story. You have to network. It's a lot of time.
So how do you learn to be a people person? Give me that. What do you need to do that?
So that's kind
Let
of
that
like
be one.
Yeah, that's kind of built in. You know, you can't.
So is that you go to school and you take communications?
You can take communications. I think
And make sure one of the classes is public speaking.
Exactly. One of the classes is public speaking, but you have to feel confident.
Okay.
You have to be a confident person, and that's built in.
Yeah, 'cause I was
that's
getting ready to say,
inside.
how
You
do
can't learn that. Right. You can't learn that. And you know, and I come across a lot of publicists, and we say the same thing. It's just, you know, this isn't something that you just fall into. This is something that's a passion that you love to do.
So we have 1 and 2. What's 3?
The third one is networking.
The third one is networking.
Yeah, the third one is networking.
And that's so hard sometimes for people.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But you know, I tell people in terms of how you're networking, reach out to the coordinator who's doing the networking event. Ask them who's in the room. Ask them what type of people are in the room. And ask them, do you have press that comes to the room? Because one, you're looking for to engage with individuals. That's one. But two, you're also looking for contacts. You're looking for media outlets and contacts. And you have to also know how to research. I want to add that on too.
So I got to double back for a minute. So if a person's starting out as a PR person and they don't come, they're looking for that first job as a PR person, and they don't come with contacts, would they get a job?
It depends on the agency. It depends on the agency. So I have contacts.
Okay.
So if I want to bring on a consultant on my firm, we're using my contacts for our client.
Sharon, I can't tell you how excited I am to have spoken with you one-on-one.
I know.
By yourself.
I know.
So thank you for coming. But what I need you to do is tell everyone how they can reach you and how we can stay connected to you. But first, what do you got coming up, if anything?
Well, we got coming up our January Ladies of Third Thursday. And
Where's that going to be?
That's going to be at the LinkedIn headquarters in New York City.
New York City, man.
And it's
Try to
free.
make that one. It's free.
It's free, yes. It's LinkedIn 101. I always say LinkedIn is your money social media. You have all the professionals on that page.
On LinkedIn,
and if you can't use LinkedIn or for your professional media outlet, then something is wrong.
Okay.
It's totally different from the other
So give us that
ones.
date again.
So the date is, I want to say January 19th.
January
It's the
19th.
third Thursday in January.
It's my grandmother's birthday, my late grandmother's birthday.
Oh, wow.
January 19th.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And you can simply find it on Ladies of Third Thursday on Facebook. And you will also find it on IG, which is Ladies of Third Thursday. And the website gets launched January 2nd. So you can actually, January 2nd, you can go to ladiesofThirdThursday.com.
And so to reach out to you, your site is?
My site is NetStruc.pr.com. You can also reach me via social media, which is all platforms, NetStruc PR. And you can also find me on my personal page, which is Sharon Devonish Leid.
You've been viewing the R&B Bistro up close and personal with Venus. Remember, it's never too late to live your dreams, and when you do, I'll be there to encourage you. Come on back to see who we chat with next time. Love you for watching. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate the
It's been
time.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Music is the answer. Sweet music is the way. Gospel, jazz, R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R&B Bistro, where the music have its way.